It's time to make it, just give it a try. 'Cause you can make it like the old fat guy.
Welcome to this edition of You Can Make It with David Farrell, the old fat guy. One of the best things about being on YouTube and having a blog and contacts on social media is you get to meet new people and learn new things. From Twitter, Ian of Kirian, Kirlan, pointed out that he sells some spices from Greece. Apparently he did a trip there and tried them and liked them so much that he's come back to Canada, I'm a Canadian too by the way, and is now selling these Greek spices. He asked me if I'd give them a try. So I will advise you, he supplied these seasonings to me for free, but it was under the condition that I would give an honest review of them and my honest opinion. So I didn't get any money, but I was given the herbs for free. So we'll start off taking a look at these herbs. I'm going to, of course, have my traditional copious quantities of wine taken internally. I can't break with tradition. And we'll start off with the first of his commercial products that he's actually selling at this time, called Greek Oregano. We'll look at it and see that it comes in a paper bag with a resealable strip, and you just have to cut along there. I always appreciate it when I get resealable packaging for herbs because you got to keep them fresh. So we'll cut it open and open the package up. And we'll start off with a smell. It's definitely an oregano smell, but it's got some strong floral notes to it. You won't mistake this for anything but oregano, but it's got a really pleasant bouquet. Let's compare it to some of my oregano, and I'm kind of cheating here. This is oregano from my garden that I dried personally, so I don't know how well a commercial one will stack up to it, but let's give it a try. Also smells with a good fresh oregano flavor, but it doesn't have as strong a scent. Definitely the odor from the Kirian is stronger, and my fresh stuff, while I really like it, gotta admit, it comes in second with regards to the bouquet. So now let's try some tasting. Just take a little couple of leaves and grind it in our teeth here. Oh, that's really a full flavored oregano. I guess it must be the heat of the climate or something, but you can really taste a strong flavor. There's no bitterness to it. It's just got that bit of flowery notes of oregano. That's quite tasty. We'll just compare it to a little bit of my own just for side-by-side comparison. I recognize that one immediately. I really like it. But ours, I think, is a little more earthy, a little less floral. Between the two, they both have their uses, but I would think in any kind of rub or sauce, I'd most likely lean towards the Kirian. It's definitely a quality product. I'm going to try it with some other spices in one of my favorite dishes, which is Memphis rub that I use on Memphis ribs. And we'll see how it stands up to cooking. Let's have a look at the next product he sent me. And apparently this isn't quite on market yet, but he's planning on bringing it out. And it's Greek thyme. He sent me a little bag of Greek thyme. Once again, we'll start with a nice smell. Okay, on this one, it's definitely lighter than the oregano, but you could pick up the thyme notes. And we'll compare it to some store-bought thyme, just out of the supermarket. Also, not a lot of scent just in itself. So, because it's a lighter scent than the oregano, we're just going to try something a little different and rub some between our fingers to force some scent. There we go. Yes, that smells like a good quality thyme. And the supermarket stuff. Okay, when you bruise it, it isn't as strong as the Greek thyme. Again, they're both quality, but I'll give a slight nod to the Kirian on the bouquet scene. So again, let's give it a little taste. Oh, boy, when you chew on that, you get that wonderful, almost slightly balsamic or tart with the floral hits of the thyme. That is a really high quality thyme. Now we'll try a little bit of the store-bought. Nice, what you expect from a thyme hit, but definitely not the fresh essence flavor that you get from the Greek thyme. Again, I have to give a nod to the Greek thyme. The next thing he sent me was some bay leaves. Now, bay leaves are a little harder because they don't taste that much, but they definitely have an odor. Yep, you can pick them out, but really to get any odor from bay leaves, you got to really give them a grind, and they're much better with cooking with, but we'll give it a little grind up here. Yeah, you can get a little bit of it there, and we'll just give it a little taste. First in my life I've ever tasted a raw bay leaf. You get that slightly back resiny taste from it. Quite good. So let's try it with some store-bought. And once again, I'll just break a little off here. Give it a good breaking, grinding up on our fingers. Just the slightest hint of smell, not a lot of smell. And for taste, quite mild. Now, admittedly, bay leaf is supposed to have a mild taste. It takes a long time to cook out. But there is stronger flavor from the Kirian Products. So for their herbs, there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that this is a high quality product. If you really are doing an important dish that you really want to be special, that has a great herb flavor that bounces out at you, I would recommend the spices just based on what I've seen so far. I'm interested to see how they stand up on my ribs, and when I have some of those cooked, we'll let you know. The other thing they sent me, though, was Greek mountain tea. Well, I'm a tea drinker. Of course, I'm a Canadian. Greek mountain tea sounds like something I've got to try, so we'll take a break now, and I'm going to brew up a pot of Greek mountain tea, and we'll see how it tastes. I've got my stuff together to make Kirian's tea, which is the Greek mountain tea. And it's a series of herbs here, and he says just throw a handful of these into a pot. So that looks like about a handful to me. And a little bit more in there. And then to throw in 10 ounces of water. Then I'm going to bring this to a boil for 5 minutes, strain it out, and give it a try. So I'll be back in a minute. So I boiled the tea for 5 minutes, and now I'm just going to strain the herbs out of it. It smells quite pleasant. Got a nice golden color. Get rid of the leaves now. And of course, put it in a nice clear teacup so you can see it better. And make a mess. I'm good at making a mess. We'll just clean that up. And once again, as I said, it's got a very pleasant, nice nose to it. It's not going to replace my morning cup of orange pico. But what it's got is a nice earthy flavor, a little bit of citrus tones to it. It's quite pleasant. I could see drinking this in an afternoon for a cup of tea. But it was suggested by the owner, Ian, that I try it with a bit of honey. So we'll just put a little bit of honey in it and see if that changes it much. Go. I like honey anyway, and it so happens this honey comes from Alberta, thank you Kelly, and is made by a local beekeeper in the Edmonton area. And is an excellent honey and should go very well in a cup of tea. So let's give that a try. Oh, that really improves it and makes a wonderful tea. Yes, I can see having this for a cup of tea on a cold day. It's snowing here where I am. Just perfect. I don't recommend it for people who like black tea, but for herbal tea lovers, it's a very tasty, nice, soothing cup of tea. So I'll sign off now until I make my ribs, and we'll come back and we'll talk about what the herbs look like when they're cooked. As I said, I was going to be making some Memphis ribs that use a Memphis rub with a fair amount of the oregano and thyme in it. So let's try the ribs that I made up and see how they go with that herby flavor. I do think that the oregano has a bit more forward flavor, and there's a stronger herb flavor than there is when I use the store-bought herbs. So I have to say, I do think that the Kirian herbs are a truly top-notch gourmet style herb. I would use them anytime, and I do believe they're superior to the supermarket. So although this time you can't make it, you can buy them. See you in my next video.
I have a good woman, I ain't good looking, but I do some cooking, I'm the old fat guy. So use that oven if you want some lovin', be like the old fat guy. Be like the old fat guy.